24 years old and I'm a presenter, writer, but ultimately I think a journalist is the best way to describe what I do. Originally I was born in London but moved abroad and lived in a place called Qatar for a few years, which is near Dubai, and have recently moved back down to London and trying to make it in the big wide world of London.
Wow, are you feeling that one? That was Devlin with Runaway. You're listening to Westside 89.6 FM, the new sound of West London. DJ Fresh bringing you a bit of gold dust coming up next.
I think for me, having grown up in between two different cultures and coming from a background that was mixed and having experienced more than one country and one culture, my childhood really made me want to kind of go out there and find out more about the world around me. And journalism just seems like the perfect way to do that. My dad's of an Afro-Arab background, my mum is English but of a Jewish background, and having grown up in Doha, which is an Islamic country, with the climate as it is at the moment, with the whole kind of Islamophobia and whatever, it's really inspired me to want to get my story out there and to get people like me out there. I'm a big fan of people like Trevor Phillips who take journalism and take a kind of background in journalism but make it more political. But as for role models, I think I'm going to carve a new niche as my own role model. I don't want to copy anyone, I want to kind of create my own route in life.
Bringing back memories of our summer just gone. Wow! Oh, less said about that, the better. This one's coming up next for you, Ms. Bratt with Selector.
I think the best thing about being a journalist is just getting to meet a whole variety of people from different backgrounds and hearing their story and giving them an opportunity to share what matters to them. When I first left school, I wasn't really 100% sure which direction I wanted to go in, but I knew that I was interested in the whole world of journalism. So I decided to go to university to study sociology, which is a bit more kind of theory-based. But having got a degree and now about to actually embark on getting a postgraduate broadcast journalism course, yeah, you definitely need qualifications to work in journalism. My motivation is very much born out of a sense of there's no one out there at the moment that's talking about issues that affect me and people like me. I think every time I watch TV or listen to the radio or open a newspaper and there's not one non-white face in there or one young female face in there, it drives me to want to get there and change that so that when my children are reading the papers or watching TV, that's not something that happens to them, that it's just a norm that people that look like us are on the TV and in the newspapers and on the radio.
Coming up next, I've got one of my absolute summer classics from this year, Swedish House Mafia featuring Tiny Temper, who I had the pleasure of interviewing earlier this summer. This track's called Miami to Ibiza. Let me know what you think. You're listening to Westside 89.6 FM, the new sound of West London, here with me, Reya.
If you really want a career in journalism, you have to be willing to sacrifice. I think I've sacrificed a whole lot of fun, and you have to be willing to work 7 days a week, because whenever the job offers come in, you have to take them. So you have to be willing to do a lot of rubbish jobs on the side, at night time, in the evenings, give up your weekends, expect to not have a social life for pretty much a good 3 years. I think one of my biggest achievements is being one of the youngest presenters on BBC local radio for an Afro-Caribbean show. I'd like to see myself working for a national radio station, writing regularly for national magazines and newspapers, perhaps working on more TV, presenting something like your T4. Nah, we'll see. Fingers crossed from here on. Tip number one for pursuing a career in journalism is get your foot in the door, whether it's making cups of tea, whether it's helping out a presenter on air. Make sure your foot's in the door, because when the opportunities are out there, you'll be the first person they choose. Tip two, make sure you're willing to work as much as possible for free. In the early days, don't expect to make money for your art, but do expect to get a lot of experience and some really good words on your CV. And tip three, utilise social networking, the likes of YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, MySpace. Get your name, your face and your writing out there, because you never know who's watching.
Hey, I'm Reya, I'm a presenter/writer, and you're watching Young Achievers on OTV. Believe you can achieve.
For more information, join the Facebook fan page Young Achievers - The Next Gen.